By golly, is he going to move on to a new game instead of just reviewing Magic the Gathering? Why yes I am. This is Jeff Crane bringing you the Card Critic Episode 4, Yu-Gi-Oh's Lost Sanctuary Structure Deck. The Lost Sanctuary is a light attribute fairy deck that contains what are known as agent cards. While the Gravekeepers work to stop the exploitation of the graveyard, the agents, however, and the other fairies, for that matter, work on exploiting it like many high-tier meta decks. Heck, to go along with the overpowered glory that this deck is, they even made a collector's tin that contains additional cards to add to the deck. Many of the cards that are in this tin were printed originally as secret rares. Oh, I never said that yet, have I? A good chunk of the cards contained in this deck are reprinted secret, ultra, and super rares. Don't worry, I'll let you know what sets and rarities these cards fall under that I've chosen to show you today. I have a policy with starter/structure decks in games such as Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, which is to buy 3 or 4 of each deck that will contain cards you would desire to play. This model is awesome because it allows you, the player, to gather the proper playsets of the cards for you to have a tournament-competent deck. A tournament-level deck using the themes of the pre-constructed deck. I don't know how many times I've seen pre-constructed decks develop a really great theme, but due to this thing called Profit, they give you a much dumbed-down version of the deck. Besides, where is the fun of the deck if they make it for you anyways? Alright, to begin with, let us examine the packaging. The dominant artwork is of the Master Hyperion card, quite possibly one of the more insane cards I have seen that were actually legal to play. Merrick deck. The packaging for this one, I must admit, is quite cheap. Don't you remember when you can get structure decks and it'll have that cool little card tray to keep the cards organized? Oh well, let's take a peek inside this thing. Yeah. Oh man. Tear it up. Die. Man, this is not opening very good. Okay. Oh wow. Check it out, a rulebook. Ever thought of making those again, Magic? And look, a playmat. Let's get some more of this open here. Arrgh. There we go. These are always cool because it shows off the main dude you get. Oh, there he is. Yeah, it's always awesome. I remember back in the day you could buy Magic decks that got these, but not anymore. Just the standard. There's a lot going on, but cool nonetheless. Some themes of this deck include utilizing the field spell Sanctuary in the Sky to add additional effects to your fairy type monsters. You can also build the deck to have the beatdown theme involving Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen. Both decks have overall similar spells, only differing somewhat in the monsters they might choose to play. I leave it up to you, the player, to decide which of the two versions of the themes of the deck to play. You can play the Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen version of the deck, which allows you to play a fairy type monster from your hand as a special summon at no cost as long as you control no other monsters. To assist in the power of this card, you have access to the card Hecatrice. This card is super awesome because it allows you to discard it, that's right, and you can search your deck for Valhalla and put it into your hand. The second version of this deck is the Sanctuary of the Sky version of the deck. This deck, in my opinion, is by no means weak, but does, however, require more work to maintain. You have several options in this version of the deck. This version of the deck utilizes the additional effects of the exclusive agent cards in the deck. You also gain access to the arsenal of Parshath-based cards. Like with Valhalla, you have access to Zeradias, Herald of Heaven, which, like Hecatrice, allows you to discard it and search your deck for a copy of Sanctuary in the Sky. Alright everyone, the first card I'm going to discuss are going to be the 3 new agent cards that were made for this deck. The first card in the deck is the Agent of Miracles, Jupiter. This card is rather interesting. While not being one of the strongest of the agent monsters, this card has some very cool abilities to aid you in your ability to duel. The first ability being that it can banish one of your face-up fairy type monsters to give another fairy type monster an additional 800 attack to end of turn. With Sanctuary of the Sky out once per turn, you can discard a fairy type monster to return one of your banished light fairy monsters back to play. That is extremely awesome. Alright everyone, the next card added exclusively for this deck is the Agent of Mystery Earth. And I must say, this card is absolutely amazing. To begin with, it is a tuner. I mean, wow, is it a really good tuner. When it comes into play, you can search your deck for any of the agent monsters and then add it to your hand. This works really well with the next card I'll be talking about, as it fully abuses abilities such as this. As with Jupiter, it has an additional ability when it is used with the field spell Sanctuary of Light. It can instead search your deck for the next card I'm going to discuss, the Master Hyperion. The next key card for this deck is absolutely amazing, and synergies so well with the Agent of Mystery, it is insane. This card has 2700 base attack, 2100 base defense. The special summoning condition is so ludicrously easy to fulfill, it is borderline too fast for the game. All you need to do is remove an agent monster from your hand, in play, or from your graveyard, from the game, to put this badass out on the field. After all that being said, you can remove a light fairy type monster from your graveyard from the game to destroy any target card on the field. Not dumb enough yet? If you have Sanctuary in the Sky in play, you can do this twice per turn! Nice. The next card I'm going to discuss is not actually a monster card, but actually a spell card made exclusively for this deck. This card is so obviously crafted for this deck where it even names specific monster types you get in the deck. That is right, everyone. The next card is the card Cards from the Sky. This card, after paying its additional cost and removing from play a light attribute fairy type monster from your hand, allows you to draw 2 cards. Now take note of this card has a drawback where you can't attack or special summon afterwards. This is rather good, not the drawback, but the first ability, removing the cards from the game, because this card has several cards within it that allow you to get back your remove from play fairy type cards. The next few cards I'll be rambling on about are some of the non-exclusive cards in the deck. The first card I'll be discussing is the Premium Pack 2 Secret Rare card, Athena. This card works well in the deck because you will have several cards in the graveyard from either the Synchro Summons with the Agent of Mystery Earth, or from the other abilities from other cards in the deck that allow you to special summon or discard cards for abilities. While Athena is a strong choice, she may be a bit undermined by Master Hyperion and the next card we will discuss, the Splendid Venus. Take note, Athena by no means is a bad card whatsoever. She allows you to deal damage for summoning a fairy type monster. Also, she can special summon other fairy type monsters from your graveyard by putting another fairy monster from play to the graveyard. As stated before, Splendid Venus comes to us as a reprint secret rare from the Duelist Genesis, one of my favorite sets in the game. This card is simply fantastic for it allows you to reduce the attack and defense of all non-fairy type monsters by 500 each. This card is so boss, because you have so many options to cheat this card into play. I mean, to go along with this, you have the passive ability where your spell and traps can't be negated. Also, this card is a 2800, so it can defeat cards with attack up to 3300. This card is an absolute must in my book. It will definitely be a hard decision to choose between this card and Athena. Ugh, okay, sorry about that. I had to continue recording the next day, because it was not a good idea to work out on DDR before recording, because you get tired. Alright, so the next card we're going to showcase is going to be Victoria. I always thought this card is very interesting. It's extremely good for many of the synchro monsters in the game that are played or dragon cards. While yes, they will need to be put into the graveyard after being summoned in order to be a valid target for a first ability, the first ability that you can select a dragon type monster card in an opponent's graveyard and then special summon it. Wow, that is really good. Don't forget that this card is yet another secret rare card that was reprinted. This one comes to us from the set Stardust Overdrive. Along with being a level 4 1800-1500, this card also prevents other fairy monsters from being attack targets, thus can lead to the opponent not being able to attack if you control at least 2 of these in play. Alright, and next we got Tethys, the Goddess of Light, is yet another secret rare card that was reprinted for this deck. It is absolutely amazing how many secret rares are reprinted in this deck. This card was originally a secret rare in the 5D set Crimson Crisis. What makes this card a worthy addition to a tournament level fairy deck is that it allows you to draw cards from your deck. One of the main flaws of this deck is its slide capability. It is very easy to burn your entire hand. This card ability allows you to draw cards each time you draw another fairy type monster from your deck. Unlike several high-end cards from this deck, this card is level 5, where all the others are level 7 or higher. One other agent you can play that comes in this deck is a rare from a very early set in the game, Lost Sanctuary. So yet again we have another card that is part of the core theme of the deck with a high rarity. I highly recommend playing 2 or 3 of these because they will help you fulfill the special summon condition of Master Hyperion, and because you can summon Mystical Shine Balls. Yes, that is right. For the very low life cost of 500 life points, you can special summon a 500 vanilla fairy card called Mystical Shine Ball. Or Ball. Yes, keep the perverted jokes to a minimum. This is actually extremely awesome because you can synchro summon with these guys really easily, and with the new XYZ monsters, life is extremely good with these things out. The next card is just universally good in any light deck that utilizes the graveyard as a resource. This card is the common card from Labyrinth of Nightmare set Soul of Purity and Light. It is an excellent card, a level 6 special summon for removing 2 light monsters from your graveyard from the game. This card is really easy to special summon, and is a 2000 that makes your opponent's monsters 300 attack during the battle phase only. This card is absolutely amazing when utilized with cards like Splendid Venus. Honestly, do I really need to go into a long-winded discussion on this guy? Honest, the secret rare from Light of Judgment. This card is absolutely notorious with cards like Ashura Priest, and oh yeah, the so very nerfed Light Sworn. This is a level 4, 1900 defense card that during either of your main phases, you may return back to your hand. Why would I do that, you ask? Well, this card has only the insanely broken ability to be discarded during the damage step to add attack to your monster that is equal to the monster it is currently battling's attack. See why this card is kind of dumb? It lets you practically make a direct attack at your opponent and wipe the opponent's monster in the process. Now keep in mind, everyone, this is the one card in the deck that's actually restricted of the monsters. So the era of 3 of these damn things is over. Alright. Solidarity. It's just one of those cards that just works in any tribal-based deck. This card was originally from the 5D set Ancient Prophecy, with the rarity of rare. Notice the trend? This card was also reprinted in the structure deck Machina Mayhem. I don't have any more of those unopened, so I can't really show you that one. What makes this card especially useful is that it allows you to easily grant all of your monsters an additional 800 attack by playing a card like Foolish Burial, or by having one of your weaker monsters be attributed or destroyed in battle for its effect like Shining Angel. I would argue to play a card like Burden of the Mighty though over this card, as it does not have a condition like Solidarity, although Solidarity is one of the more powerful cards you get within this structure deck. Miraculous Descent. This is one of the more staple cards in the deck, in fact that they give you 2 copies of the card. This card is an ultimate rare from the GX set Enemy of Justice. This card is an extremely excellent piece of utility for the deck. This card, when it is activated, lets you choose one of your removed from play fairy type monsters and return it back to play. This card is an absolute must for this deck and fits the theme of almost all the cards being in the deck being at least rare that I'm showing you. I have a bad habit of playing premium cards, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a great game for the mere fact that the premium decks contain reprinted, super, ultra, ultimate, and secret rare cards. Within this deck, there are also a slew of restricted cards that are normally limited to 1 per deck. This is awesome because some of these cards are out of print, and decks like these allow you to play these cards and have a tournament level deck. 3 of these said limited/restricted cards include the ever so powerful Torrential Tribute. This is a good era to play Yu-Gi-Oh! For almost all the extremely good and extremely ransom for the full version board wipe cards are all playable. You also receive a Solemn Judgment. This card, before the release of this deck, ranged from $30 to $60, people, based on what set it was from, especially the gold version. Lastly, there is the Return from a Different Dimension. This card allows you to special summon as many banished monsters as possible that you control until end of turn only for the cost of half your life points. That is so awesome. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my review of the Lost Sanctuary Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck. This deck is still on sale. I know it took me a while to get the review done for it, so it will not be on sale in that long. As you can tell, I have the Gates of the Underworld deck back there, so obviously that deck is out now. So I guess on the end, I'm going to say that I'm still working on the Excalibur review. Yep, still working on it. And let's show off some of the full versions of these. So here's the Valhalla, secret rare. Woo. Marshmelon. I didn't mention him, but he is in the deck. Pretty cool. Athena. Check out the shiny Victoria. Yeah, it's awesome. Pulled these in packs, by the way. Arc Lord Christie, I didn't mention him, but I have a foil one, the secret rare one. You know, the one that's worth buku bucks. And Honest reprint, not the secret rare one, with the ultra rare from the Twilight special edition. Pretty sweet thing. Sold out promptly the moment they came out. So, as usual, this is Jeff Crane, Chief Project Coordinator here at StarCat Products. You can leave any questions or comments, and as always, you're welcome.